The press conference has finished. Frank Wallin, Tyson's promoter, joins me. Frank, I know you never know what to expect with Tyson, but today it was an even bigger charm offensive than it was against Tom Schwartz here 2 months ago.
I don't think it's even a charm offensive. It's just him. He's just natural. He's easygoing. He's clever. He's got a good brain, quick brain, good mind on him. And he obviously, Mexican Independence Weekend, he's an honorary Mexican.
Now, you were up there and you were quite close to them. It seemed to me, I know they were talking about how tall they were, that type of stuff. But could you sense that Otto couldn't really look him in the eyes, or didn't you get a sense of that?
Not at all, no, because they were facing, and there was two people in between him. No, I didn't get that at all. Look, it's a massive, big opportunity for him. And I just want to say one thing, and I mentioned it earlier. If they'd have made Ruiz against Wallin today, and he hadn't fought Anthony
in May,
Joshua, people would be maybe spinning a coin for that. He may have just been a little bit favourite. So he's now world champion. Anything can happen. Do I think it's going to happen? I hope not, and I don't think so, because I think, as Ben said, he is an elite heavyweight. He's the best heavyweight in the world, in my opinion. There's no doubt about that. But he can't take his eye off the ball. There's a big prize there for early next year with Deontay Wilder, so everybody's focused on that. But Tyson at the moment has got a job in front of him, and he's got to get through Wallin. And
Frank, you know better than anybody, there is a history of boxers with a great big fight coming up against an opponent they're not frightened of, taking their eye off the prize. That's often how our sport survives, because it bounces from shock to shock.
Well, I can think of a lot of guys who've, come up just before the big fight, and it's all gone wrong. As I say, certainly in the heavyweight division as well, one punch can change the whole scene dramatically, as we've seen. Tyson is focused. He's a thorough professional. His last two fights, he's not trained to make the weight, he's training to fight, which is the big difference. You look at the shape of him and mentally where he's at, and he's got to come through this fight and hopefully set, as I say, the big fight with Wilder. And then, can you imagine what he's going to be like then? He's got to get through this guy, do a job on him, which I really do believe he will do. Come through that, and then we got the real big fight, the big rematch.
No, I hate talking about a fight that's after this fight and dates, but I have to ask you, this proposed February fight with Wilder, which seems to be as good as done and dusted, everybody in the Tyson camp says that's perfect timing, that he was getting there for Wilder, he was getting closer with Schwartz, he's getting even closer this time, sharper and finer, that by February it'll be absolutely perfect.
Well, he will. Listen, he had all that time out of the ring, he put all that weight on. And so you think it was about 14 months ago. It's amazing where he's come from to where he's at now. The weight that he lost and the challenges that he took and the challenge. We did something that Joshua's promoter couldn't do for Joshua. We delivered Wilder. He couldn't make that fight, or he didn't want to make it. We made it. We made it for Tyson. It was a massive, big gamble. Only a couple of us really did fancy him to win the fight. He took that gamble, and I thought he got robbed, but that was probably the best thing that ever happened to him, in my opinion, in boxing. It's changed the whole game round for him now. It's a bit more experience. And what I mean by experience, not just the fights, it's in the training camp. It's living that disciplined life. It's working on things, working with Ben, who's done a fantastic job, doing all those things to set him up for this big fight. Of course, we don't want to overlook him, but there are levels, and hopefully Wallin's not his level.
And on the subject of that Wilder fight, I know that we had a great weekend here with Schwartz, and hopefully we'll have a great weekend with Otto, and then we'll be back with Wilder next year. But is there something in you that really wishes we'd have got Wilder in April or May?
No, not really. I am actually pleased with what's happening because, when Tyson came back, he was going to have 4 fights before he got into a big fight. And I don't think it would have been 4 fights and get a world title fight. We're talking about a big name. But he went straight into the deep end after 2 fights. The preparation for these fights, being in the ring, has standard him in good stead. Provided he comes through, no mistakes, he is going to be in absolutely, he's going to be the top form he's ever been in his career, in my opinion. And that spells a lot of danger for Deontay Wilder.
So in some ways, what Ben and you were talking about last year, what was being suggested last summer, i.e. 2 or 3 more fights, really hard fights, leading up to a Wilder fight, which is what we thought might be the scenario, that's actually going to come true, but it'll be a rematch, not the first Wilder fight.
Well, that's it. It'll be a rematch, and that's what it'll be. And it's all unfinished business. But he's got to get through this one. And we're going to watch it, we're all going to be sort of sitting there, you know, waiting, you know, just all have nerves over this fight. We don't want no mistakes. I mean, he looked brilliant last time out. He made a statement. It wasn't about, it's how you win, and I want to see the same again from him. I want to see him come out there and make a statement, and he's, you know, he's more than capable of doing that.
And finally, I know we always say it, but they are heavyweights, and it is just one punch, one bad night.
Of course it is. You know, as I say, we've seen it. We mentioned it earlier about the Swede against Floyd Patterson. You know, he was the big hero in the States. In goes bingo, they called it. Yeah. Boom, he knocks him over. As Bob said, he was on the floor 8 times. It happens. And it won't, hopefully it's not going to happen on Saturday, because I don't want that to happen, but that's where we are. And, you know, Tyson's got to look good and do the business. And you know, if he does that, then he's got himself in a fantastic position.